Part 2. I'm not trying to trigger the coloreds, but the only people that want you around them is you. Every time you race to spend your money in their pseudo-pleasure palaces, you are the only person that welcomes your presence there. The owner don't want you there. The workers don't want you there. Nor do the other patrons want you there. So my question to you is, why are you there? Where is your self-respect? And no, forcing things down an unwilling neck is not good. It's not good. I wonder how many young lives are lost each year due to this perception of lavender and cream, fields of butterflies where reality escapes you. Black people, the Bible is very clear. There is no mistaking context, meaning, or wording. At this present day and time, whatever state you may dwell, you are amongst your enemies, and there is nothing colorless Jesus can do about it. The Chinaman is your God-given enemy. The wetback, yes, the wetback is your God-given enemy. All the Patels are and treat you like your God-given enemy. All of the Turk/Arab soul converted and castrated you, making units of us, thus proving they are your God-given enemy. Yeah, I know there will be some of the nations that have never laid a finger on us and will flee to us for refuge. I got that. We read that together. But as the scriptures attest, Yah will pick each individual out and send them at that time, which can only mean it would only be prudent to screw them all at the present and let my God sort them out. Now wait a minute. I'm not telling you to discriminate against them. Heck, you don't have the power to do that anyway. I'm advising you to believe in what my God has told those with ears to hear and eyes to see. What? And what that is? Good question. But why I got to be a smartass about it? I heard that. I'm advising you to believe there is an entire family bloodline posing as Israel whose sole purpose is to beguile you. I'm talking about the Kenites. I'm advising you to believe there will be many others who will attach themselves to you, again, with the sole purpose of beguiling you. And most of all, I'm advising you to return to my God and trust only in Him. Yeah, He sent out fishermen casting nets, but if the fisherman isn't telling you to return to the God of the specific Adam, of Noah, Moses, Aaron, Deborah, Joshua, Isaac, Jacob, Daniel, Elijah, and Prince, King, Prophet, Priest David, if they ain't telling you to return to that God, that isn't a real worm, and far worse, it got a hook hidden in it. Do not bite. Think about it with wisdom and understanding for just a minute. If you take heed and apply, I could be 100% wrong in everything that I'm saying, and none of it will affect your salvation. But what if I'm 30, 50, even 100% right? Your souls will burn as the heathens, not to mention being eaten by... Oh, wait a minute. I can't believe I got to this point. My feeble mind always forgetting. Little Miss Ivy, help me out. Help me out. That's right. That's right. Not to mention being eaten by monsters and giants. Teach your children this fundamental fact and endure. Continue with your wishful blasphemies and madness. You deserve your chains. Let's continue, please. Quote, the harassment, first reported Saturday by the Austin American Statesman, began in early March and continued until last month. Ronco said he learned of it in a May 5th text from his daughter. Personal quote. It says something to the effect of, "Hey Dad, is it racist when people call a black person an ape?" I asked for some context and she said they'd taken her phone, looked up pictures of apes, and said that was what she looked like, Ronco said. That day, another student in the same class was accused of saying, personal quote, "Don't sit next to me. I don't sit next to apes," and moved his seat away from the girl. A report authored by Principal Brian Dawson detailed 2 other times the girl was harassed by classmates. The same female students who made the ape remark reportedly followed the girl around the tennis court with a long piece of trash, pretending to whip the girl and saying words to the effect of, "You're my slave now." A few months earlier, after the girl pointed out a male student as the source of a lunchtime dispute, the boy reportedly said, listen to this now, personal quote, "It wasn't me. You're not gonna really take the word of a black person over the word of a white person, are you?" Stop. Bingo. Again, I ask you, brothers and sisters, what era of time are we in again? Black people, hear my cry. As we have already discovered, the overwhelming mass majority of white people do not look upon you as human. They didn't when they brought us over here, and by this youth's own words and context, they still don't think of you as an equal at the table of humanity. It makes no difference how many laws and penalties you force down their throats. You cannot change a person's epigenetics and their hearts. But wait! Add into the equation the fact the evildoers have embedded an all-encompassing trigger mechanism into the American society with the sole aim of keeping the white man agitated. What fact of folly am I talking about, you wonder? The fact government-backed and approved devices are interwoven into the American fabric to make it appear so-called African Americans are at fault for their own demise, thus the harbinger of American society. Every time the white man watches the local news, he is triggered. Every time the white man listens to his local talk radio channel, he is triggered. The evildoer got the white man so skittish at this point, every time the white man hears common sub-trigger words like welfare, entitlement, hood, civil rights, MLK, well, Nat Turner instills dread in him. LBGT, well, that instills disgust. But they have MK Ultra, the common white man, so bad, every time he hears words like, it immediately takes him to trigger word junction. What's their function? Making Mr. Rotten wish he picked his own cotton. Again, to them, what the world would call genocide is just the natural order of things. And when the white man reads articles like this, quote, Coca-Cola said Tuesday it will be cutting 1,200 corporate jobs later this year as part of an expanded cost-cutting program. When he reads that, 1,200 corporate jobs are being whacked at one time with just one company, you already know he will need a scapegoat for his frustrations. And with the Mexicans being pushed out, guess what race of people is going to fill in the void? But I know, as we can see, even little white boys won't take the word of a colored. Let's finish this out, shall we? Quote, the report doesn't elaborate on the discipline except to say that school officials, quote, provided additional reteaching to the offenders. Ronco said, listen up, listen up. Quote, Dawson told him the harassment did not amount to bullying. Personal quote, he said they didn't determine that she had a belief that she was in physical danger, so they did not feel it was bullying, Ronco said. The father said school administrators also refused to tell him how the students, most of whom are his daughter's teammates on the school's tennis team, were disciplined. Personal quote, we're in the dark, and probably the most hurtful thing was right afterwards when my daughter had to play next to these girls in a tennis match, Ronco said. Another personal quote, she had to watch them run around laughing, giggling, and having fun like nothing they did was wrong. Example, because to them, nothing is wrong. Teach a child the way they should go. Surely we know they were not learning this from their grandparents. Black people, nothing has changed. Get over it. But before I let you go, take these couple of headlines with you. Quote, lawmaker apologizes after saying leaders should be lynched for removing Confederate statues. That was the Washington Post, May 22nd, 2017. Here's another one. Quote, GOP representatives avoid saying whether every American is entitled to eat. That was The Hill, May 30th, 2017. Thank you for looking at this video. My God's will, look for the next in this series.